In the not-so-distant future, humanity suffered a catastrophic zombie outbreak that wiped out millions of people. We'd thought the zombies would die off on their own over time. However, the virus that created them mutated, turning them into sentient killing machines. They enslaved what was left of us. We heard stories of a man that stood up to the mutant zombies all by himself. To some, he is known as the Dunk Man. We know him as the Justice Bringer, Shaq. Mutant Zombies, get ready for a
SHAQDOWN. Story. So you're probably wondering what I feel about this game. Well, I kind of have a little bit of a nostalgic feeling for it, just because the game does remind me of Fist of the North Star, which is probably one of the greatest anime movies of all time. And if you've never seen Fist of the North Star, then you definitely have to check it out. Also reminds me a little bit of Last Battle that's on Sega Genesis. That's also a Fist of the North Star game. But overall, this game it's just average. That's all it is. It's just average. The animation is really cool. I mean, I have an interest in the story a little bit, just because these zombies, they look like Reapers from Firefly. And it reminds me a little bit of Spiral Zone, which is a cartoon from the 80s, and you know, Road Warrior and all that post-apocalyptic stuff from science fiction. I have a little bit of an interest in the story, just a little bit. It's probably not an amazing story by any means, but I mean, I could probably get into it. Where the game gets boring is when he keeps on saying free throw, free throw. Every time you use that little orange basketball fireball thingy, he just keeps on saying that. And I think that's what kind of kills the game a lot for me, is when he keeps on saying that over and over again. I wish it was just like a regular explosion sound, like, you know, like that. It wouldn't get on my nerves as much, but saying the same thing over and over again gets on your nerves. You know, and again, the levels are pretty much all the same, where it's, you know, top, middle, and low. You know, so you're either on the top, of the middle, or at the bottom of the screen, and you're jumping up and down. So the levels don't really change that much. Right now I'm fighting this boss, and I have to avoid his bombs, and I have to take him out. And as you saw just a couple seconds ago, he also has a big giant fireball that's like an Arukan fireball that Ryu would use, and it really doesn't seem all that fun to use, because when you do power up, you only have a certain amount of time to use it. If you don't use it, it depletes itself, and then you have to power up again. I kind of like the idea, like I said, of the story of these mutant, you know, monster zombies, or whatever you want to call them. I think if they took this story and they implemented it in a, you know, a 2D fighter like Final Fight, you know, which is a brawler, I think this would make a lot more sense, you know, with the anime style and so on. But right now it's very competitive, and it seems like a flash game that just keeps on repeating itself. I like Shaq, don't get me wrong. He's a great guy in real life. He buys toys for kids who can't afford toys. He's a really nice person. From what I've heard about him, I mean, if you met him someplace, he's really polite. He's a really nice guy. I mean, this guy is a real super nerd when it comes to comic books and movies. He's a big fan of Terminator, Superman. He's just an all-around geek. So I really like Shaq as a person. However, the game does need to be a little bit tweaked somewhat, and hopefully they can get it fixed up with an update. Once again, guys, mp4podcast.com. I'm out.